Hi there, it's Tim from the Guide to the Magic. I'm a self-proclaimed Disney expert. I've been to many of the Disney parks around the world, and I also run the Tim Potter Travel Company, which Guide to the Magic is part of. So, what are we doing today? We're going to be having a quick chat about Disneyland Paris, and should you be staying, or should you choose to stay at an on-site Disney-run hotel? This is always a difficult question to answer because everybody's circumstances are very, very different. So I'm going to just talk through a few of the pros and cons and considerations more than anything else on choosing where to stay when you go to Disneyland Paris, because there are other options out there. So Disney has 5 hotels that are open at the moment that I would say are on-site hotels. They do also have the Davy Crockett Ranch, and that is lodges for up to 6 people, but it is about a 5 to 10 minute drive from the theme parks, and you do need your own transport to use that one. The other hotel that they have is the Disneyland Hotel, which is currently closed for refurbishment. So we won't talk about the Disneyland Hotel at the moment. That'll be opening again in about 2024, and we'll let you know when that's an option for you. Finally, the other option we're not going to classify as on-site is the Villages Nature. 2 reasons. It's located, again, similar sort of distance to Davy Crockett Ranch, so it's not actually on-site, walkable and accessible from the theme parks. There is a shuttle bus, but again, that does take a little while to transfer. The other thing is, it's going to be a very different holiday if you're choosing Villages Nature. You're probably going to want to spend some time in the village itself. It's run by Centre Park, so you expect all those Centre Park type activities, running and walking, bike trails, forest trails, and the massive aqua lagoon, which is fantastic. Certainly worth considering for a visit. But Villages Nature not going to be classified as the on-site hotel. I know it can be a little bit confusing from the Disney website, the Disneyland Paris website. They make it feel that it is on-site and part of the Disney resort itself. So the hotels we are going to be talking about that are on-site, that are accessible, is the Disney Santa Fe Hotel, Disney Hotel Cheyenne, Sequoia Lodge, Disney's Newport Bay Club, and the Hotel New York Art of Marvel. Those are the 5 hotels that I would say you need to consider if you want to stay on-site and be closest to the action of the theme park. So let's talk a little bit about the pros, the advantages of staying on site at a Disney-run hotel. And the first one is you stay in that Disney bubble. The theming, the service, the cast members, they're all Disney and the Disney standard that you expect. You're going to go from the theme parks to your themed hotel with nice little gestures around the resorts and the rooms to make you still feel that you've got that magic of Disney and those characters that you know and love are around. So that is certainly one of the aspects, and that's a big draw. People, when you're planning your Disney holiday, people want to be fully immersed in the Disney experience, and that is one. Not a pro for everybody, I do appreciate, and we'll talk about that when we start talking about cons and disadvantages. The other great thing, and I think we've talked about this at length, probably should have been the top pro, is how close you are in proximity to those theme parks. You are a maximum of a 20-minute walk from the Santa Fe Hotel, which is the furthest hotel away from the theme parks in that group of on-site ones we're talking about. You are a 10-minute walk away at the Art of Marvel, and you are going to be walking through around Lake Disney, which is the lake where the other hotels are situated, and the Disney Village. So you keep that immersion. And there is also convenient shuttle buses from the bus station at the park entrance that goes to all the hotels. They are individual shuttle buses, so only going to that hotel. You're not sharing it, but they can get congested, especially at park close time after the fireworks. You can get a lot of people on there. If you've got a buggy or a pram or something, to be honest, I don't have any of those, but I still love that little walk down to the hotels, and that's certainly something worth thinking about is how close you are. You can go in and out of the parks as you feel. The next thing that is a pro is probably also, and we'll talk about it on the con sort of disadvantage list as well, but is the way that Disney packages their hotel stays. If you're booking with Disney or any of the other packages, they generally will include tickets at a great rate as well. So again, difficult to get hold of a room only rate, but when I've done comparisons, Disney's not adding a huge amount on top for the Disney park theme park tickets. The other thing is you don't have to worry about reservations or bookings or anything. When you've booked your hotel package, your tickets are automatically included with your stay. So it's really a hassle-free. It does also include the first and last days of your stay. So if you arrive on a Tuesday, you can go into the parks once you arrive. And on your last day, if you've got a few hours before your transport home, you can certainly go into the theme parks on the last day as well. The next thing that you can take advantage of staying on site is the Disneyland Paris meal plan. Now, we will do a more detailed video regarding meal plans because it's a slightly complicated subject, but you can add these to a Disney package. So if you book with a travel agent like ourselves, then we can add that for you or include it from the offset. As part of your Disneyland Paris package. If you book direct, again, you can add it with there as well. The meal plan will save you money under certain centres, and again, there's considerations to make, and I will be doing a video blog or a written blog just to go through some of those options and considerations for the meal plan. One word of warning, don't purchase the breakfast only meal plan. You are not going to save any money whatsoever on your breakfast. The breakfast at the Santa Fe restaurant is €21 for an adult, €14 for a child. Basically, they're going to charge you exactly the same cost to upgrade to the meal plan. There are other options for breakfast. You might want to just grab a quick breakfast in the parks, so like a croque monsieur or a croissant and coffee. You might want to go to Annette's, the American diner in the resort. So that's a lot less than €21 for an adult. I think it's around about 15. Or you might want to do a Starbucks or McDonald's or whatever for breakfast. So even if you were to go to the hotel breakfast buffet every day and pay out of pocket, you are not going to save anything by booking the breakfast only meal plan. In fact, the only meal plan you should be considering is the half-board one, if you want my honest opinion. And I will go into much greater detail in a meal plan video, but don't book breakfast only. Right, but you can add meal plans onto your Disney hotel package, which is a pro, because certainly the half-board one will save you money if you're planning to eat the meals in the resorts or in the theme parks and enjoy the table service, sort of more table service and buffets which are available. Next pro, again, whether you've got the meal plan or not, if you're staying in a Disney hotel, you will get early access to restaurant reservations. So normal guests can reserve 60 days in advance, can book tables 60 days in advance. As a hotel guest, you can reserve up to, and I say up to with very large bucket of salt, 12 months in advance. There's very few restaurants that put 12 months on availability on, but you just need to keep checking, and certainly sort of 3 or 4 months before your stay, you should be able to get access to quite a considerable number of those restaurants before general ticket holders and people without hotel reservations, Disney hotel reservations, get access. So the next pro is character meets. All the hotels will have character meet and greets available. These will either be in the morning during breakfast time or in the evening, depending on the hotel. So just check with them for the timetable. But you will have a range of characters to meet. So at the Art of Marvel Hotel, there is the Heroic Experience where you can go and meet the Marvel characters, and there's also some really, really cool photo ops in that experience that you can sort of take and wow your friends at home. Then in the Cheyenne Hotel, you can meet Woody and Jessie, and sometimes Bullseye, and there's generally the Toy Story characters, Woody and Jessie, are at the Hotel Cheyenne. And then at Newport Bay Club, Sequoia and Santa Fe, it's generally sort of Fab Five characters. Normally, they do rotate them, so you don't get the same ones every day. So worth checking out and seeing which characters are available at your hotel to meet and greet. And you'll probably queue a lot less for a meet and greet at a hotel, because it's only the hotel guests who can use that, rather than in the parks, where you could queue quite a while for a hotel for character meet and greet. The other thing I would mention is you can, if you're going for dinner at another hotel, you can go and meet the characters there, as long as you're staying at a Disney hotel and you have got your Magic Pass with you to prove that. The final pro of the staying in a Disney hotel is the extra magic hours at the start. So you will get an early entry into the theme park. So normally the theme parks will open their gates around about 9:30 to 10 o'clock for general admission. So you will get access at around about 8:30 to the parks. So you've got some extra time to make get to the attractions a little bit earlier. So let's start by talking about some of the considerations. I've called them cons, but it's not necessarily cons. They're just things that you have to think about and decide whether they are appropriate for you when choosing if you want to stay on site in a Disney hotel for your trip. Everybody's family is different, everybody's trip plans are different, so as I say, just think about these things before you make the decision to book. The first thing is the bedroom setup. So generally the Disney hotels have all used the American format for their standard type of rooms, and that is with 2 double beds. So they mostly have an occupancy of 4 people plus 1 infant in a cot. So an infant is under 3, and that's essentially it. There are a few rooms with king beds, there's a few rooms with king beds and pull-out beds, and there is a few 5th sleeper rooms, but they will only sell you a 5th sleeper room, so that's a room with an extra pull-out bed, so the 2 double beds and the pull-out bed. If you have a 5th person to sleep in it, you can't purchase it, or you can't book it without having that 5th person in it. And also they're generally on request because they have so few of them as well. So yeah, really you just need to consider, is that right? If it's not right, you've got 2 options. A, you need to look at how many rooms you need. Do you need to book 2 rooms or 3 rooms for your party in order to have the right number of beds for your party? Or there are other options outside of the Disney parks. The off-site hotels, there's a wider range of apartments. There's hotel rooms that have got bunk beds and a king bed or a double bed. There's rooms that have got 2 single beds, 3 single beds and a double bed. A lot more sort of family configurations or group configurations. So just bear in mind that the Disney hotel is not necessarily always the best option, especially when it comes to those sleeping arrangements, because of that US 2 double bed standard room. Next one, there's no beating around the bush about this. These are big, massive, huge hotels. Most of them have got over 1,000 rooms. Hotel New York's got 650 rooms. So there's going to be a lot of people, especially at peak time. Checking into the hotels can be busy. There might be a little bit of a wait, and also peak meal times, especially if the parks are closing earlier. After that park's closed, for people coming back for dinner. Just remember, the French like to eat a little bit later anyway, so just bear in mind there are some peaks in that when there's going to be a lot of people moving around the hotel. So these are going to be sort of large, busy hotels. They're not secluded and quiet. Having said that, once you're back to your room, they've done very, very well in making you feel in a little bubble. And next consideration is, are you ready for all that magic to continue when you get back to your hotel? I talked about being in that Disney bubble as a pro, as an advantage. It is also very much a consideration of, do you want to be, and would it be suitable for everybody who's travelling with you? If you want to go to a more sort of relaxing, maybe even a spa hotel, then there are those sorts of options. You don't necessarily have to choose an on-site option when going to Disneyland Paris. But when you stay in a Disney hotel, I expect that magic to sort of continue, whether that's something you enjoy or something you might not. So finally, how do we approach this cost? Probably the one nail on con is going to be the cost. You are going to pay more for a Disney hotel than you are an off-site hotel, for those advantages that we've already talked about before. Not always so much on the actual headline package price. That's probably going to be just slightly more than a comparable hotel off-site, especially once you consider the ticket factor in and the fact that Disney does discount those ticket packages with the on-site hotels quite well, whereas when you stay off-site you have to pay full price for your multi-day or single-day tickets. Where you are going to possibly get hit quite hard in the pocket is your food and drink costs. If you're staying on site and you're that captive, you are going to have to pay probably the Disney prices. And I appreciate you've booked an on-site hotel, you're not going to go off-site to eat or drink. So just be aware that the costs of the meals. All the restaurants are in the app. They've got menus on the app with pricing, so you can see what you're looking at. But if you want a table service or buffet restaurant, which you're probably going to want a substantial meal each day for at least one of those, then you're going to be looking between 35 and 55 euros per person for an adult, and 22 to 30 euros for a child. So again, just something for you to factor into your holiday costs is that food and drink price, and you are going to be paying a little bit more on site than you would be off site. Next thing, shopping is a cost. There's not a lot of shopping choice on resort. You're basically down to your gift shops. There are a few amenities for sale in the hotels. I have seen that people have needed suitcases for some random reason. Not too sure how much they've been spending in the gift shops, but suitcases are broken and they've needed to purchase one. The ones that Disney sell are sort of quite a limited range, not particularly branded, and they are on that sort of higher price. Whereas if you could go down the road to the Primark, for example, and pick up one for a fraction of the cost, probably a very similar suitcase. So just bear in mind that the shopping again is going to be quite limited. And they are looking to revamp the Disney Village and hopefully bring a few more sort of third-party outlets or third-party retailers into that. But as of yet, you're really limited to the sort of gift shops and hotel shop. Not a lot of other choice in regards to shopping. And final consideration is that hotel ticket package. We did talk about it being a pro because, as I say, Disney does give you a really good price on it. Where it does become a bit of a consideration is if you're not planning on spending those days in the theme parks. If you're wanting to go off and do other attractions in the local area, if you want to go to central Paris and do some sightseeing, then you are going to be paying for a day ticket that you're not using, even if you've paid a reduced price for it. So that is a consideration for you to make. I would say if you were planning to do more than a couple of days outside of the theme parks, then probably thinking about an off-site hotel is the way to go, because you're not then paying for tickets or days in the theme park that you don't need. So this is a really quick review of what the advantages and the considerations are when you're choosing your hotel stay for Disneyland Paris. What are your thoughts? What's your favourite hotel? Where do you like to stay? Is that somewhere on site or is that somewhere off site? Are there any things that we've missed in our little recap here, or any things important to you about staying either on or off site in the hotel that you might choose at Disneyland Paris? If you've got any questions or comments, leave them in the comments below. Contact us on social media. We've got to do this YouTube thing. Can you like the video, please, if this has been useful? That helps other people find us. If you want to get in contact with us, again, messages on social media, give us you can write in the comments down below. We'll try and get hold of you. Email us at travelco@tim-potter.co.uk if you want any specific questions you want us to answer. As I say, I've been to the parks. I'm a Disneyland Paris annual pass holder, so we're very experienced at the Disney park thing, and we'd really like to help you plan your next trip wherever possible. Thank you very much for watching, and we hope to see you all very soon.